Welcome to Picture This. I'm your host, Preston Luke. Well, hello, and welcome to the Picture This podcast. I'm your host, Preston. Preston Luke is my name. What is up? This is episode 2. We're here. Some people messaged me and was like, where's the podcast this week? This was last week that they messaged this. And I was like, you didn't look at the notes on the podcast, because Picture This is a bi-weekly podcast for now. I didn't want to commit to posting and recording every single week because I know me well enough that it's not going to take long for me to be like, okay, every single week is way too much for now. But here we are, episode 2. Before we get started, one thing about me is I love a beverage. So I'm going to prepare myself one. But if you're watching this on YouTube, you're able to see what's about to happen. And, I just dropped my device. Anyways, if you're watching this on YouTube, you are able to see what I'm about to do. But let me just run this through if you're listening. I have a 32-ounce cup with 2 espresso shots in it by itself. You're not catching me dead drinking this by itself. Absolutely not. It's like dirt. But I have a Core Power 42 gram of protein vanilla protein shake that I'm going to mix in with this little espresso drink. And it's going to provide me the taste of an iced coffee that I like and a little latte, but I'm getting 42 grams of protein. And, I'm not even going to lie, I can easily drink a normal latte this size. And I'm not ashamed of it. And you shouldn't be ashamed of it either. But my latte that would be this size would be like 500 calories, like bad for me. So we're choosing a healthier option because I have mentioned before that I am in a healthy era and I'm trying to hit that protein goal. So we're getting 42 grams of protein in this coffee today. So I just made some protein coffee. We're going to throw that bottle to the side, get it out of the way. And we're going to grab the straw and do a little stir. Now, I'm not going to lie, this espresso shot has been sitting for about 45 minutes while I was getting everything ready for the podcast. So I'm hoping it's not too watery. But we're gonna do a taste test. Do a little stir. All right, let's taste it. It's gonna do what it needs to do. Now, do I prefer my large iced vanilla latte? Wow. That's not what I order, and I said that weird. I prefer, if I'm going to go to a coffee shop, I'm ordering I'm ordering an iced vanilla honey latte with oat milk. And that never really does me wrong. I order that every single time, but it's not always the best for you, especially because I like a sweet coffee. I'm not even gonna lie. So, that's going to do it for me. That's going to provide me some energy and caffeine for this episode. And I'm going to get my protein goal while I'm sitting here. So let's do a little life update since I've talked to you last. So the last time I talked to you, it was the first episode that was 2 weeks ago. So in the last 2 weeks, what has happened? I, of course, released the podcast, and I announced my event club content. So a little short story long is, if you don't know what club content is, it's like the ultimate photo conference for photographers, hence photo conference. But it's a 2.5 day event. So it's 2 full days, and then there's like a half day involved on that first day. But it's a 2.5 day event, and there's 10 photo shoots. There's 3 guest speakers. Myself will be there, of course, speaking. Brandon Wolfel will be speaking, one of my really good friends. And then another one of my really good friends that you all know and love is Cassidy Lynn. So us 3 will be there speaking, talking to all the photographers that are in attendance for that. And we have 10 photo shoots planned, 10 styled shoots. Some of them are in studio, some of them are on location, some of them are portraits, some of them are couples, and all the things in between. I had my first ever club content last year. It was a huge success. It was in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and this year, we are doing it in Scottsdale, Arizona, which is crazy. Thankfully, I have really good connections in Scottsdale, so I'm able to have someone on site there that lives there that's helping coordinate this entire conference. So we have a beautiful VIP house that the VIP members can stay at. The VIP house holds, not just like 5 people, so it holds quite a bit of people. And then we'll also have room to bring in some 2-day passers if they are either local, they don't want to stay in the house with everyone, or there's no more room in the house for everyone. But yeah, I'm also excited to announce soon some of the event sponsors and some of the brands that I'm working with to help create this and make this happen. I'm so excited about it. And yeah, I was really nervous to even announce club content because um I did it last year and it was great, but this year it's a whole different ballpark because it's in a whole new area. And I was like terrified. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what if no one signs up?" I also have imposter syndrome all the time. So, like just as someone like someone that looks up to me, if anyone looks up to me, I'm literally struggle with imposter syndrome myself. So I get it. I'm like, I'm going to post this and no one's going to sign up because no one wants to come learn from me. And I was blown away and I still am blown away by the amount of applications we have received for club content. So we haven't sent any acceptance emails yet as of now, but it's gonna be great. I'm really excited for it. Okay, so club content. I announced club content. If you're watching this, you're watching this on Friday, and they are still open for applications are still open. If you're a photographer, I'd love to see you there. You are still able to apply, but all of the information is on my website. They're on my website, prestonluke.com. I literally almost said my church website because I'm so used to doing announcements at church. That is so funny. Anyways, that's hilarious. So, anyways, on my website, prestonluke.com, you can find the club content information. So, what else? So, I'm actually gearing up to leave for 2 weeks. I leave in just a short couple days, and I'm going on a really long trip. I first make my first stop to Charleston, South Carolina, and that is for an event called Photo Camp. It's similar to club content, but it's more of a campy vibe, and it's at the beach instead of in the desert this year, where club content's going to be. But it's similar. My friend Alex Blake is hosting it, and I'm speaking at it for the third time. I'm super excited to be there. If you are going to be at photo camp, I can't wait to meet you, and it's going to be fun. It always is a good time in Charleston. I love Charleston, and I've been able to travel to Charleston so many times that I low key feel like a local. Like last time I was there with some people and it was like some other people's first times, I was like, and this is the King Street, and this is where we go shopping, and Isle of Palms, and it's actually called IOP, different things, because like I know what I'm talking about in Charleston because I've been so many times. So Charleston is basically like a home away from home for me. So I love it, and I love being able to have friends that live there, because how many of us know whenever you have someone that lives somewhere, you can travel to them and you don't have to pay for a hotel. So that's always amazing too. But it's great to be able to see all of my friends. So many of my friends are going to be there, and we haven't seen some of us haven't seen each other for months, or some of us haven't seen each other for like, yeah, 9 to 10 months. So it is definitely going to be a friend reunion. We're going to have lots of fun. And I believe I'm hosting, not host, well, I am host. Back it up. I believe I'm recording a few podcast episodes with some special guests while I'm gone. So I can't wait for you guys to see that. Some of the plan is to record some podcast episodes at like the late hours of the night. So when we're in our most delusional state. So get ready for that, because my friend Lindsay and I, it a podcast episode hates to see us coming, and it might have to be a two-parter, but we'll see. And then I go, so I'm at photo camp for a few days. That event is a couple days, but I'm also in Charleston for a few days before and then a few short days after. And then I go from Charleston to Las Vegas. And this will be my first time in Vegas ever, which is crazy because everyone's like, "You've never been to Vegas?" And I'm like, "No, I had never have been to Vegas before." But this is my first time in Vegas, and I will be going for WPPI, which I'm gonna get roasted. What does WPPI stand for? It's like Wedding Portrait Photographers International. I don't know. I don't know if that last word was right, but it's a conference. It's like an expo conference for wedding and portrait photographers. I'm going to actually look up what WPPI means because Wedding and Portrait Photographers International. I was right. I was right. Okay, cool. So, WPPI stands for Wedding and Portrait Photographers International, and it's a yearly conference and trade show for portrait and wedding photographers, videographers, and filmmakers. So, and they offer education, networking, competitions. They have a trade show and special events like parties, clubs, and other activities. So, I'm going to WPPI. I will be there with Nikon. I am doing a photo walk that I'm super excited about. And then I will be shooting at the Nikon booth. They have shooting bays. And so I'll be mic'd up with my little pop star mic that they have. And I'll be shooting, and you'll be able to listen to me and shoot along with me. And yeah, that's going to be fun. I went to the first one, the first trade show ever. Well, whatever the show's called, I don't know if it's a trade show, but I went to the first, convention like that called Imaging USA in February. The very first week of February, I went, and that was fun. But I'm excited for WPPI because Vegas, like that'll be fun. I'm not there very long though. I'm only in Vegas for like 3.5 days, so I will have to like get a feel for it and then be like, do I really want to go back to Vegas? Because like when I went to Miami a few months ago, like 2 months ago, I went to Miami. I was like, I'm good. I don't need to go back to Miami. I didn't love Miami. Now, it doesn't help that I did get sick in Miami, and it was rainy, cloudy in Miami. So that could be an issue. That could also like be the reason. But as of right now, I have no. I don't want to go back to Miami because it wasn't enjoyable to me. And I have been to a lot of really big cities, and that one was the one that I was like, I can pass on that. So I go to that trip next, and my next episode that you are hearing will be right after I get back from that. But I believe it'll be recorded while I'm gone on that trip. So you'll be able to kind of see and hear from me while I'm on that trip, but you won't hear live updates after it's over with until probably a week or so after that. But I'm trying to think if there's anything else going on right now in my life that you just need to know about. I think that's it for now. Listen to this. And this is for, you know who you are. But I did a closet clean out. Be proud of me. First of all, it came to my realization that I needed to clean out my closet because was buying a couple new clothes because I'm just like any other person. If I'm having a special event that I need to be like present at and I'm going to be photographed, I want a new outfit, sue me. Okay. You do the same thing. So I was at the point where I couldn't fit any new clothes on hangers in my closet. And I was like, this is becoming an issue. Well, I spent an entire Saturday going through my closet, and I got rid of like half of my clothes, which was cool because one, I was able to be a huge blessing to two people, and I filled up massive trash bags. I mean, massive trash bags of clothes. Like one of the guys that I gave clothes to, I think I gave him like 10 pairs of pants, like nice jeans, which is like, I'm not trying to like be like, oh, I did that, but like that's just how much I gave away. Like I was giving away so much because I had no room. Well, now I feel like my closet is a little bare. I'm like, where did everything go? So I am slowly like looking because I'm also trying to like elevate my style a little bit differently. I'm kind of leaning into like a little bit more basics. I used to go for like bright and vibrant patterns, but now I'm feeling like, a little simple is better. Like I'm literally wearing a gray long sleeve and a hat and black jeans, and I'm like chilling. But before I'd be like, give me something that's orange and yellow and bright and all that stuff. But I don't know, I've just changed a little bit. So I went through my closet, got rid of so much stuff, and then I cleaned my room, which was like the first time I really deep cleaned my room since club content last year in June. Don't want to talk about it. I understand it's crazy. And I'm just a human. And I know you are too. Like, don't act like you haven't cleaned your room before. So I was able to clean it all up. My room is spotless now. I forgot what the floor looked like. It looks great. And my closet is a little bare. So I was like definitely having to shop around for some things, and I realized that one of like something I was wanting to wear something to one of the events I was going to next week, and I was like I don't have anything to wear that fits in the theme. So I was overnighting things, and yeah, but I say all that to say is I love that I was able to be a blessing to other people that, could use some extra clothes, or, maybe they are in a situation where they can just go out and transform their wardrobe. So that was really cool to be able to do that. It made me feel really awesome, not gonna lie. But let's see here. Today we're just kind of talking about I guess the title of this is like don't forget about your 2025 goals, okay? So I have my phone out. So, obviously I have an outline because I can't stay on topic. I'm just letting you know. So, I'm doing like a quick like a reflection on my year so far, and then we're gonna jump into like talking about our goals and like not forgetting about them, because that's what happens is we set these goals in the beginning of the year. We're like, I want to do this, whether they're big, whether they're small, and then the weather starts getting nicer and things start happening outside and the sun comes out, and we kind of forget about these goals in March and April, and then summer comes around and it's like, what happened to those goals that I was going to make, and like what am I working for this year, and like what am I doing to better myself? But let's do a quick reflections on the year so far. So it's March. Let's talk about, let's see here, I'm already off track. Okay, wait. So if you're already off track on your yearly goals, you're not alone, because I feel like I have fallen off track on a few different things. So like you're not I'm here to relate with you on that. But we're gonna talk about, how to fix that. It is easy to, start strong in January. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's making goals. Everyone's doing the thing. And then it's just easy to get out of the habit, or it takes one mess up and you're completely out of it. You're like, I don't care anymore. But I am here to let you know that you're not alone in that. Everyone struggles with that at some capacity. I struggle with it 120,000%. So, why people fall out of their goals. Common reasons why we stop is life just gets busy in general, okay? And then that dominoes effects down to losing sight on what our goal was. Motivation fades. You're not seeing results quick enough, and so your motivation's gone. We set unrealistic expectations, so that is another one. And then self-doubt or comparison is also another big one. Whenever the comparison kicks in and you're comparing yourself to social media, that's another reason why we fall out of our goals. Which comparison is like I struggle with that so much, comparing myself. And so if you're listening to this right now and you're struggling with comparing yourself to someone else, if it's on social media, unfollow that person. Like no hate, but like if you're comparing yourself and it's putting you in a negative mental space and causing you not to achieve your goals, just hit unfollow. You know, if it's someone that you're close to, that's actually kind of a hard one, but it's like evaluate that and like, I feel like if you're close to someone, it would be like you're comparing yourself, like how can we work together to make these goals happen? Um a moment that I've struggled to stay on track with a goal this year is my content that I've been posting. I was like, you know what, I need to get back into posting, because I traveled so much at the end of last year. And so I kind of got out of my like posting schedule. And I was like, I've been setting a goal, like, I want to post X amount of times a week. And I have not been as good as I want to be and need to be. So I kind of did a little reset on myself this last week, and I'm planning ahead. Now, I will say some of the reason is I don't have the motivation to post because I don't have the motivation to shoot, and I don't have the motivation to shoot because it's so dead outside. It is midwinter. Every tree is dead and brown, and it's just like not fun. And everyone's like, "Well, you have a studio." Yes, but if I have to shoot in the studio every single time, then like almost like I get out of like you get into a creative rut. 'Cause it's like, well, my studio is literally a blank slate. So I have to literally start from scratch and think of a new everything every single time I want to shoot in it. Now, I'm so thankful to have my studio. It's been a complete blessing, and I wouldn't trade it. But I want to go outside too. I need some spring flowers. I need them to come out. I need them to be present, please. But I'm going to give you, like 5 steps to get back on track to your 2025 goals. So, step 1 is to revisit your goals with new and fresh eyes. Does this goal still matter to me, or was it just a hype up moment in January? Reevaluate your life and reevaluate, be like, do I still want to lose 45 pounds? Do I still want to save $2,000 each month, or is that even feasible for me? Um, Different things like that. Yeah. So just like look back at your goals. Step 2 is break it down into smaller, realistic steps. So I'm bringing this back to fitness because fitness is a very popular resolution. I'm sure if you're listening to this, you've made some type of fitness goal in your life, and probably over half of you have made some type of fitness goal just this year. So, break down break down your goal into smaller, realistic steps. So instead of saying, "Hey, I really want to lose 50 pounds this year," which is 100% possible to do. Um, but let's back that up a little bit. What is that going to take? Okay, that's going to take, how many times a week should I be going to the gym? So I need to make it a goal to go to the gym 3 times a week. And then maybe let's take it even more a couple steps further is I need to stop drinking my calories. I need to stop drinking pop, and I need to quit drinking my big iced lattes that are 500 calories, and like start there, like get those goals going, and then that big goal will trickle in, and I promise you that will happen because I am a testament to how that does happen. So break it down into smaller, realistic steps. Step 3 is create habits, not just wish lists. That's really good. So willpower is overrated and systems is where it's at. Okay. A personal example is how I structure my schedule to stick to my goals. For instance, I have very big goals for my fitness. At first, it was to lose weight, and now it's to, get abs before summer. That's a realistic goal. Can I get a solid core for summertime and gain muscle? So, I've been creating habits. I get up. Here's what my morning looks like. I get up at 8 a.m., wake up, and okay, you know what? I have been getting up. I usually get up at 8 a.m., but I've had some distractions, and my sleep schedule has been all over the place. So that's where I need to get back in track. But so get up at 8 a.m. and then I get up, do my morning routine, take my time, get dressed and everything. And hopefully I'm dressed around 9, which yeah, that's reasonable. So like an hour to kind of like do what I need to do in the mornings and shave and all the things that you do in the morning time. And so I'm ready by 9, and then I like to spend like 30ish minutes on 30 to 45 minutes on emails. So I get my emails done, knocked out for the time being, and maybe just kind of if I get my emails done quick, also kind of just think, okay, what do I need to get done today? And then I'll get all that done and then I'll pause on work and I'll go to the gym. And I like to be walking to the gym by 10 a.m. Work out. I won't lie. I work out for about an hour and a half, sometimes almost 2 hours, and that's what I've done because I enjoy it. But you don't have to work out that long. If you can get in for 30 minutes, that's 30 minutes of physical activity that you weren't getting in. So it's just something. So I work out for a little under 2 hours. It's probably about an hour and 40 minutes. And then I get home and try to be home by noon so then I can eat my first meal of the day. And then I'll eat my first meal of the day, then I'll shower, get ready for the second half of the day, and hopefully by 1ish I am off, whether it's to a coffee shop, to a studio, or somewhere, and I'm working, whether it's editing, shooting, all the things, filming content, or having calls. That's what my day looks like. And then I'll work from 1 o'clock till 5 or 6, probably about 5 o'clock. And then I will go home. Sometimes I'll go back to the gym and do some cardio if I'm really trying to, snatch up the waist as much as possible. And if not, then I will go home, figure out what's for dinner, and then I like to chill in bed. I like to scroll. I like to watch TV and different things like that. So I hope you enjoyed listening to how I process my day. But that's an example of I create habits. So I've created a habit of getting up at the same time, created a habit of going to the gym and eating. I eat at the same times every single day. I always eat lunch from between 12 and 12:45, like that 12 o'clock hour. And different things like that. And my set, I always am working, like I'm always deep into work between like 1 and 5. And so create habits, not just wish lists. Step four, set up mini checkpoints, like monthly goal check-ins, adjust instead of quitting. So maybe every single month at the first of the month, on the very first, you're talking about, okay, what did I do last month to get closer to my goal for this, and then this month you can be like, here's how I can do better. So that's an easy one, I feel like. But just like, little checkups on yourself, be like, how am I doing? What am I doing to better myself? And what am I doing to get my goal, to accomplish my goal? That's really good. And then last but not least, step 5 is overcome mental blocks. So procrastination is huge. Hello, I'm the worst procrastinator possible. I won't lie. If you're also a procrastinator, we are friends. We get each other. Perfectionism. Some people, and also I'm like this too, but everything has to be perfect. And it's just not going to be. It's hard to achieve everything to be perfect, but you can. Only thing that matters is that you are putting front your best effort and comparison. So that's hard to push through comparison, but all of those things, it just comes from getting over those things: procrastination, perfectionism, and comparison. It's taking a look in and how can I get past this? So how can I get past procrastination? Okay, we go through and we're having our checkpoints, we're having our what do we say earlier, our habits. Our habits will help. Having habits will help you get over procrastination. Perfectionism, that one's hard, but perfectionism and I feel like comparison also kind of go hand in hand together. Like I said earlier, if you're comparing yourself to other people and it's affecting you in a negative way, unfollow that person. It's gonna be okay. Especially if they don't know you. It's like they're not. It's gonna be okay. Like, I know it feels bad, and unfollowing someone definitely is like that one hurts, and you feel like an awful person. But like, it's okay. Like, if it's not affecting you in a positive way, just hit unfollow. Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit about my own 2025 vision board and check in. I thought I unplugged my mic for a second. I had to look at it. But we're going to talk about my own 2025 vision board. So I'm going to share a few of my personal goals that I've set and then where I'm at with them. And then, yeah, let's talk about it. So for my vision board, first of all, if you haven't created a vision board, so we've talked about setting like resolutions and goals, but also like creating a vision board is so helpful. And it was helpful for me because it's it's something that my eyes can see and it's tangible. So I am able to look at it and be like, oh, like I'm able to like put a picture in my face and like be like, oh, I want to accomplish this year. So this year for my vision board, I posted it on my birthday and I created a vision board on the wall in my studio and then I took photos in front of it. So that was really cool because I was capturing myself in front of my own personal 2025 vision board. So if you want to see what my vision board looks like and follow along with me, you can head over to my Instagram head over to chapter 4. I'm just kidding. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ish. It's like six ish layers down, and I am wearing an all white outfit with a white tank top and sunglasses. That's what I'm looking at. So first off, let's talk about like brands. So I have big goals that I want to work with some big brands this year. I have Alo Yoga on here. I have Adobe. I have Walmart, Zara, Samsung, BMW, Nikon, Gymshark, Pepsi, Abercrombie and Fitch, Best Buy, Skims, Target, Prada, and New Balance. So as of right now, I have worked with um, what am I saying here? I have worked with Nikon this year. I've worked with Best Buy. I have worked with Adobe this year. So those are one, two, three that I've already worked with, and I can confirm there is another brand that I read on this that I am working with right now. That I just can't like be like I'm working with them because I'm not allowed to quite yet. So that is that's really cool that I was able to like I'm able to do that. And some of these are, some of these are big reaches and some of these are big. Like I say that, but also like working with Adobe and Nikon and Best Buy, that's huge. And I'm so thankful for that. But some of these are big and it if it happens, it happens. I'm just gonna keep doing my own self and pushing towards that. It's funny because right above it there's a little photo that says it's only delusional until it works. That's so real. So, keep being delusional and we'll see. Right above that, I also have a alarm clock that says 6 a.m. Because I want to wake up earlier. Now, I have not been waking up at 6 a.m. Actually don't think I've woke up at 6 a.m. once this year. So that's another place that I'm failing. But if I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m., that means I need to go to bed by like 10 p.m. latest because I need 8 hours of sleep. So I need to go to bed earlier too if I'm going to be doing that. So yeah, I haven't done that. But with with that and around that, there are some clothes, and it's hard to like know this unless you're looking at it and talking about it with me. But right under where it says 6 a.m., there's two different outfits, and they're both solid colors, very simple. And I told you earlier that I told you earlier that I went through my closet. I did a closet clean out and I'm reinventing my style and trying to go for more, simple things and more classy and that vibe. And I'm doing that. So that's cool that I feel like I'm achieving that goal and I'm working on it. Another thing in the bottom right of this photo, I have club content and then photos from last year's club content. And so I announced club content this year. I actually did have a little Easter egg on this photo, and you have the club content, and right next to it, you have a picture of palm trees and then a plane window. And that was kind of a little Easter egg being like club content is, taking a whole new destination this year. And so I'm obviously in the middle of planning club content and working on that, but I'm actively working on that goal right now. So on the other side, on the left-hand side, I have photos of a house. And an awesome goal of mine is I'm just working on, acquiring a house and I want to buy a house. So I am continuing to save and continuing to look for the right house, but that is a goal of mine. Again, I'm continuing to save, so I'm working towards it, but I have not bought a house yet. It is only March, so that's a good thing, I guess. I have till December, but if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But that's on my goal. And then far left again, you can see a guy lifting weights. Obviously, just me and working on my fitness goals, and how I said I was trying to grow more muscle. That is on my vision board. I'm working hard at that every single day. I go to the gym 6 times a week. Yeah, 6 times a week. Had to think about that. Um, and then real big, I have it says a new era of me. I just am working on, I want to elevate myself as a person this year, all across the board. I want to be a light. I want to, I want people to look at me and, see, I want to radiate. I want to radiate with you know, with a like as a bright light, and I want people to feel like they can trust me, and I want people to, feel excited whenever I do something. And so, yeah, new era of me. And I feel like, let's see here. That's quite a bunch of it. It looks like and also there's a photo which is really hard to see because it's really small, but right under the new era of me, there's a picture of Italy. And I actually am going to Italy, which I didn't know this before I made this, but I am going to Italy in July this year. So that's going to be, I'm going to be crushing that on my goal, my vision board this year as well, which is so cool. I'm going to Italy to, I'm speaking at a workshop with Cassidy Lynn for a couple days, but we're going for a lot longer, and I'm going to experience going out of the country for the first time. So I'm super, super excited about that. And then on the far, 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 far right up top, there's a picture of a Bible, and then there's a picture of like a planner. And it's like one, me being better at planning my life and my content and all the things. And, I haven't been as amazing as I should be. So that's more I can work on there. And so that's that. And then the other is a Bible. I just want to continue to dive in and read the word as much as I can and be consistent with it. So I always feel better when I read the word. And absolutely. So I think that covers my vision board, which is really cool because I'm actually accomplishing more and like more on it than I anticipated that I was. So that's really cool. But also like I said earlier, I'm revisiting my goals and re-looking at them right now live with you, so you're able to kind of see all that stuff. But yeah, um, but let's hear one goal that I'm pushing extra hard on this month is just club content because it's my biggest event of the year, and so I'm working hard on getting attendees and getting the right venues and locations and models. And so that's a big goal that I'm really working on, making sure it is perfect or as perfect as I can possibly make it for myself this year. So, wow. I feel like that was a really, really good chat on, your goals because I said this in the beginning. I'm going to say it again, but we set these goals in the beginning of the year, which is awesome. But we fall off track. I fall off track, you fall off track. It is normal. But now, whenever it's about to be spring, is the time to revisit, get your life back into shape. The winter blues are starting to lift. The birds are coming back out. So I think I would love for you to pick, 1 to 3 of your goals that you set and revisit them and be like, how can I make this happen? How can I make 2025 my year? I would hate for myself, but also hate for you to end the year in December and being like, what did I actually accomplish this year? That would be awful, because our life is so short. It feels long, and then one day you blink and it's like, oh wow, like I've already lived this much and what have I done? So just don't take anything for granted, and I believe in you. I really do. I think you can do it. For the first time, I'm going to transition over to a Q&A advice segment. I don't have a good name for this. So if you have a good name for this, I would love for you to help me out. So what I did is I posted on my Instagram story asking for any advice that people had, questions that I can give you my advice on. So I'm going to be doing that. It's going to be random. It might be some photography stuff and it might just be some regular live stuff. So let's get into some of these questions. So this question right here it says how to market myself better. I'm not going to answer this right now because I have an entire episode coming on. And I think it's next episode, but it's all about marketing and deep diving into that with one of my really good friends, Lindsay. So be tuned, stay tuned to that next episode because it's going to be super, super helpful. This says first good lens to buy for portrait photography and traveling. So okay, it depends on your budget, of course. I know the 50 millimeter, like it's like the Nifty 50, is so popular and everyone gets that lens. I actually didn't start on that lens. I started on a 35 millimeter, and that's one that I fell in love with pretty quickly. So that's a good one. Also, if it's within your budget, I recommend getting a 24 to 70 2.8 lens because you can get a wide angle shot. You can also get a zoom in tight shot, and it's very versatile. So if that's in your budget, I think that's awesome. Now for traveling, maybe not so much, but for portrait photography, I definitely think it is. For traveling, on the other hand, maybe like a tiny Nifty 50 or a 35 would be good for traveling. But I don't know if I would necessarily say there's the best lens for portrait photography and traveling together. Just personally opinion. This says, assuming photography is your full time gig, how did you know to make the hobby your main? So, my full time gig is turned into a lot more than just photography by itself. It's a whole entrepreneur business of, photography, running a business, running a studio, running an online store, education, hosting events, working with brands. So it's much bigger than that. But if we back it up to whenever I originally went full time, and I've told this to many people before, is let's say you're talking about photography. You are photographing people and you're photographing clients and all that stuff. Well, whenever you start booking and you are having to turn people away because you are either one way too booked and your other job is too demanding, that's a good flag that's being like, maybe I should consider stepping out of this job and going into photography full time. And also another good helpful, hack is think about how much you are charging and think about, can I live off of this? Be realistic with yourself. If you're only making $500 to $1,000 a month on photography, you're not going to live off that. Like that's not enough money to live a life in America. Like a true, like you're not going to pay rent. So you need to make sure that you can be able to keep up with that. What I have told my friends in the past that I had gone full time before them, I told them that one, it's going to be really smart to save up 3 to 5 months of your monthly income that you need to survive. So let's say you need $4,000. I'm just throwing out a number. But let's say you need $4,000 a month to survive when that comes to your bills, your groceries, and whatever. Okay. So save that much money for 3 months to 5 months if you can. And then you can step away from your corporate job, go into photography full time. And then if it doesn't work out, you have a fallback to get another job just in case. But also, don't quit your job and go full time photography and not have any clients in the next 6 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So don't be like, all right, guys, I am officially going full time as a photographer, but I need to book next week. Like if you don't have bookings and to keep up with yourself, don't go full time. You don't need to be going full time. Literally the reason, like that is telling you that you do not need to go full time. Some people just think they should go jump into full time too quick because of the fantasy of, I am full time photographer, but it's not always, you're not always ready for it. So let's see here. Where do you buy the poles for your backdrop setup? If we're talking about my colored seamless paper backdrops, they are all from Savage Universal. And then the little rolly thing is newer, and it is from Amazon. How do you get into working with fashion brands? So I don't work with a whole lot of fashion brands. I just work with brands itself. And what's interesting is I don't photograph a whole lot for brands. I work with brands as like a personality, if that makes sense. So um I would suggest creating so let's say you really want to get into the beauty industry of like makeup. So get some product and do lots of test shoots with models and build a portfolio of that and then present and pitch yourself to the brand that you're wanting to book with those photos. But also don't do a bunch of beauty and makeup and skincare whenever you want to book for like a soda company, you know? So like take photos of what you're wanting to book. Finding your editing style. And so yeah, this question says finding your editing style and then advice on how to discover your editing identity. Both pretty much the same exact question. But um it takes okay, so finding your editing style takes a second to figure out, but it also takes trial and error. I recommend finding a creator that you like that sells presets. I sell presets. They are now my presets now are different from the ones that I sell, but they're still great presets. I don't have the ones available that I edit with now for sale, but yet. But find some presets from a creator that you like how they edit and buy those presets and then like start trial and erroring with that because it's going to be hard just to start from scratch, especially whenever you're brand new. Just to be honest, it's going to be hard. So I would find some presets that you like and then get in to start working with them and then figure out what do I like about these presets and then start tweaking them and then kind of creating your own style off of that. I'm not gonna lie, whenever I started, I have probably spent $2,000 to $3,000 on presets in my photography career. You know, I had reinvented myself multiple times until I found a style that I liked, and then I figured out how to create my own, and because I figured out what I truly liked. And now it's fun for me to create presets and to find different editing styles. But that is my advice to you is to get some presets and practice with those. This is a best starter camera. So if you're a brand new to photography, never done it before, I recommend. So I always am going to recommend you Nikon because it's what I've always do. So it's what I know. So let's get that straight. I will never recommend to you a Canon or a Sony or a Fujifilm because I have never owned one before. So I can't tell you. I mean, I know they're great cameras, but I can't tell you which one to get because I don't know any of them. So for me personally, I would recommend the Nikon Z52. Something really cool is I was actually on set and shot the campaign for this camera, which is really, 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 really cool. But it is a great starter camera, and I recommend getting that with like a 35 millimeter 1.8 or a 50 millimeter 1.8 lens, and practicing with that. And then if you want to go one step up, which is definitely a more expensive option, but it's a really great camera, is the Nikon Z6 III, which if you're on YouTube watching right now, this is being filmed on my Nikon Z6 III. And then personally, the next step up I shoot on for all of my work is the Nikon Z8. So hopefully that helps. Let's see here. How do you stay consistent? Well, I just talked about a couple minutes ago about how I have been struggling to stay consistent. So, it's something that you have to check yourself on and being like, I am not doing what I should be doing or different things. It's hard. It really is hard to stay consistent in all things. I think just making goals and checking yourself. And also, one thing that helps me is in the beginning of in the morning making like what do I need to do today and what do I need to do today to accomplish my weekly goals, so I have goals that I need to accomplish for the month and then the week and then the day, so I kind of narrow it down. Hopefully that helps. This says best platform for collecting payments from clients. I've used Square before, pretty good. I have used Stripe before. I like Stripe a lot. Stripe is inquired. It is integrated in with my online store and like when I sell tickets for things. And then I also use HoneyBook. I know HoneyBook has had some issues We don't have to get into that. But I use HoneyBook, and I'm not saying I'm obsessed with HoneyBook or I love it, but I have used it, and I've accept payments through that as well. I would say if you can send it all through Stripe, I do like how Stripe works with the invoicing program. It's very similar to some of the other ones, but you can send an invoice and they can pay it with their card, and it all integrates together. So I would say Stripe. This says, please do an entire episode on hosting a workshop. All the deets. I plan on doing that. Let's see here. How to manage stress with editing sessions, personal life, and the best version of myself or yourself. This is hard. This takes balance. Um, I sometimes have struggled with balance, but I also am such an overthinker. I'll like go to bed and be like, oh my goodness, I have this and this and this and this to do tomorrow and next week, and I have to get this done. And I didn't do this today. But I think one, not like realizing that you are a person, okay? So that's the first thing. Like realizing that it's okay that you take time for yourself because you are a human being. Surprise. So you are a human being. So realize that one, it's okay to take time for your personal life and you time. That's one thing. Also manage a good way to manage stress with editing and different stuff like that, like your work, is to set specific work hours. For me, for my editing and all that stuff, I know I'm working from like 1 to 6, okay, or 1 to 5, like around that time. But once about 5:30, 6 o'clock hits, my computer's getting shut. Unless I have a really tight deadline, I will make it work. But for the most part, I'm done. So I have a boundary set, and my friend Alex has been really good about teaching all of us, all of our friend group of photographers, boundaries. She is really good at boundaries herself. All right, this says how to gain confidence in yourself as a creator. Okay, this is hard because you have to be kind of in a state of delusion to make it almost as a creator, because like that's how I did, like you just have to post and not care what everyone's going to think. Okay. Because whenever I started posting on social media years ago, people would totally be like, oh my gosh, another post, or like he's trying too hard, or this or that, or this or that. And it's like, okay, but no one's making fun of me anymore. And if they are, it's like, I've never been jealous of someone making fun of me, Like no one making fun of me is ever doing better in life than I am. If you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not that sounds I don't know if that sounds bad or not, but just do it, It's hard because confidence is such like an inward thing. Like you just have to like fake the confidence, and then you will gain more confidence, because confidence and being confident is like radiant, and people see that, and people are attracted to confidence. So if you're being confident, I'm saying the word confident so much, but if you're being confident, and you're posting and how you carry yourself and all the things in within that, that'll radiate, and people will totally gravitate towards that. So, yeah. This says advice on how to secure a VIP slot for club content. That is so funny, Oh, this one says how to get accepted into club content. I feel so bad. One of my friends asked me today, and they were like, what do you do if you can't accept someone? And I'm like, well, it's hard because I mean, I only have a certain amount of spots I'm allowed to have, by all the rules of everything. And I have so many more applications of people that apply. So it's definitely hard, but I'm like, do I do more than one club? Wow, I can't talk. Do I do more than one club content in a year? Or do I still keep it a year, like one time a year thing? That's really hard. Just be your best, apply, do your best, and we'll see. If it's supposed to happen, it will. If it's not, it won't this time. But that doesn't mean you cannot continue to apply every single year. Let's see here. Let's answer two more questions, and then we will wrap this episode up. This says advice on how to establish your own brand. I'm going to be talking about that with my friend Lindsay as well. We'll be talking about marketing and brand strategies. So stay tuned for that. This says, how do I talk to my crush? I wish I had a good answer for that, because I still feel like I don't know how to talk to my crush. So, it is what it is. I don't have any good answers for that. Let me be realistic here. How do you talk to your crush? Be casual first. I love how I was like, I'm not answering this, and then I'm like, actually, let's hop into it. How do you talk to your crush? Maybe let's be casual first. Let's make sure you guys get along as friends. Don't have a crush on someone and immediately be like, yo, can we go out right now? Like maybe let's get a little bit of a connection first, and start like slowly like inching in and being like seeing if they're open to more than just being friends. um that's how I would start. Last question: best way to learn Lightroom Classic as a beginner? It seems so daunting. I recommend going on TikTok because TikTok is short form content versus YouTube being like so long, which YouTube's helpful, but it's really long. But if you go on TikTok, TikTok is like Google, literally. You can go into TikTok and you can be like Lightroom tutorial for editing, blah 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 blah. You could literally do a Lightroom tutorial for editing portraits, and you're gonna have a video pop up on TikTok, and it's gonna be able to help teach you. So if you are worried or don't know how to work a certain feature or a certain like section in Lightroom, I can guarantee you search it on TikTok and it's going to have like there's going to be some type of tutorial there. So start on TikTok, and if TikTok is not working out for you, head on over to YouTube. Not only does Adobe post their own tutorials, but people post all the time with Adobe and just posting tutorials on how to use it. So just deep dive into that content and practice and practice and practice, and you'll get it, I promise. But you just got to keep going at it. All right. Well, I believe this is the end of this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is a reminder. This episode was a reminder that it's never too late to refocus. I have this written down. Small steps lead to big progress. So inch in small steps to your goals. Pick one thing from your vision board and make progress on it this week. And I would love, shoot me a DM on what you're doing, and I would love just to like chat with you about it. Please do. When I have free time, I would love to check up on that. You can connect with me on all social media as I am Preston Luke. If you've listened thus far, first of all, thank you. Second of all, please hit up the review section, because whenever you leave a review on a podcast, it pushes it out to other people. It's telling the podcast, it's telling, Apple Podcasts and Spotify and this and that you enjoyed it. And so it's like, oh, they enjoyed it. It's getting a good review. Let's show it to more people, and then it helps get more people into the podcast and being able to listen to it. So if you're listening to this, please give me a 5-star review and write a little note if you want to. If you don't want to, you can just hit the 5 stars, but I appreciate it so much, seriously. And as this is a new podcast, it's forever and beginning to evolve and grow. So it's been so much fun already. But you can connect with me on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. I am Preston Luke. And, I still don't have a good like closing. Like I need a good, like strong, like, and picture this, blah, 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 blah. But I will chat with you guys in 2 weeks, and I cannot wait for the next episode. I'll be on the road in Charleston, South Carolina, so I won't be in the studio, but you'll still hear from me. Until next time, thank you for tuning in to Picture This. See you guys.